Welcome back. Another top aide in Vice President Kamala Harris's office is leaving amid reports of dysfunction in the White House. Symone Sanders is expected to leave the vice president's office at the end of this year. Sanders is the second highest ranking advisor to leave the vice president's staff in less than a month. Joining me right now is the Washington Examiner's Editor-in-Chief Hugo Gurdon. Hugo, it's good to see you. Thanks very much. What's your take on all these resignations out of Kamala Harris's office?
There's complete turmoil in the West Wing, Maria. I think that there's a clean sweep going on. You might think that this is mostly rats leaving a sinking ship, but I think it's more the captain ordering excess baggage thrown overboard to keep the vessel afloat. You've got Symone Sanders, as you say. A month ago we heard that Ashley Etienne, the communications director, was on her way out. Peter Veltz, the head of press operations, is on his way out. Clearly, it's very, very difficult to make the vice president look competent. She's in charge of the COVID-19 vaccination program, which is not going well. She's supposedly in charge of the illegal immigration crisis at the border, which is a total disaster. She's just in charge of the Space Council, just at the moment when Russia and China are making America look flat-footed in space. So her public approval is sinking like a stone, and it's clear that the White House wants to try and improve that. But, one of the people that we at the Washington Examiner spoke to told us that the vice president didn't like celebrity staffers when in reference to Symone Sanders. So, there's obviously a big clash going on here. When the tide of popularity goes out, it exposes all the rocks, and you can see all the things that are causing difficulty.
I mean, where is this going? Hugo, you've got lots of talk about Democrats pushing Pete Buttigieg forward. They don't even want Kamala Harris as their candidate in 2024. Then you've got all of these Democrats resigning. Congressman Peter DeFazio of Oregon is now the 19th Democrat to announce his retirement, Hugo. Right. 19 Democrats retiring. Are they basically saying, look, we know we're not going to win in 2022. Let me get out of here before all of that. And your thoughts in terms of Kamala Harris's office as well with all of this talk. They're even talking about Michelle Obama coming in to have a leadership role in the White House.
Yeah, the Democrats don't like either of the two people at the top of the ticket. I mean, Joe Biden is perhaps well liked by them, but they don't think that he's going to be running again, even though he has to say he is. Otherwise, he's already a lame duck. No one believes that Kamala Harris has the political acumen, the popularity, the competence to step into his shoes. So they're basically without anybody who might be on the ticket plausibly in 2024. So that's why you hear stories about Michelle Obama. Then, as you say, Pete DeFazio, leaving Congress after 35 years. He's held that seat in Oregon for a very long time. But he's now it becomes a self-fulfilling prediction. When the Democrats think they're going to lose, they get out. That means that Alex Skarlatos, who's challenging DeFazio there and who only lost by 6 points, is now going to be running for an open seat. And that's one of the seats that the Republicans have targeted in the next election. So, there's a kind of momentum to this rolling collapse of the Democratic administration and the Democrats on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, I want to bring in Christian Whiten right now, but let me just point out that Democrat Stacey Abrams says that she is going to run again for governor of Georgia. This is setting up a possible rematch with Republican Governor Brian Kemp. So we're waiting on more fallout of that, Hugo. But on that note, let me bring in Christian Whiten. Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, well, some people say that Stacey Abrams is already the governor of Georgia. Hugo, there's a lot of talk about the House, and these retirements make it look very likely, along with the generic poll, which has Republicans up from the Real Clear Politics average 4 points. Now, when Republicans pull even to Democrats in that poll, it usually means they make huge inroads in the House. The House is looking pretty good for Republicans. What about the Senate? You see fewer retirements there. Republicans have a more difficult map. They're on the defense on almost all of the main seats that are up. Of course, a third of the Senate up in any election. What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, I actually am pretty, I think that the Republicans actually could increase their, they do better in the Senate. I think they could take the Senate. I think it's highly likely that they're going to win the House. The average, I think, is 25 seats that the opposition party takes after a president of the opposing party has been in the White House just for 2 years. So I think that's looking very good for them in the House. But one of the things that, if you actually look back at the history, the Senate usually changes when there's a sweep in the House as well. And so, yes, it is more difficult. There are fewer retirements, but I think that the Republicans are in pretty good shape there. One thing I would like to say about the Stacey Abrams thing is, I'm afraid this is once again, she's running on the idea that somehow black voters are being disenfranchised. She made that clear in her announcement yesterday. But we've also got former President Trump pushing David Perdue to challenge Governor Brian Kemp for that seat, so opening up a Republican primary. That gives Stacey Abrams a pretty good chance because she only lost by 1.4% of a point to Kemp in 2018. And now you've got former President Trump trying to make sure that the Republicans are in disarray and disunited in Georgia. So, there's trouble there again. There's trouble there for the Democrats. Sorry, for the Republicans.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very good point, Hugo. It's good to see you this morning, Hugo. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Hugo Gurdon joining us.